Hi, my name is Kufran and I will be presenting my Action Research virtual poster presentation. Statement of the research problem. I will be investigating the use of technology, the iPad or tablet, in the classrooms and its impact on student achievement and literacy. Technology is integrated into our lives and we rely heavily on it to complete many of our daily tasks. Students today play a key role as digital citizens. The use of technology in the classroom can meet the needs of all students. We know that there are various types of learners in every classroom, and it is the educator's responsibility to ensure that the students are successful. This research problem looks to see how technology can affect students' writing skills. The research question that I looked at is, how will using the iPad or tablet in a grade 4 class impact students' writing skills? I started off by looking at the central and relevant terms. The key terms that I looked at are digital citizenship, student engagement, and technology. Digital citizenship is the rules we follow to act safely and responsibly when using technology and the internet. Student engagement is meaningful student involvement in various learning environments. Technology is various methods and devices used for many purposes, for example, computers, iPads, tablets, hearing devices, and other assistive devices and technologies. For my action research plan, I looked at various literatures to review. The first article that I found was Technology and Literacy in Early Childhood Education by Burnett. This article examines the use of technology and the implication it has on literacy learners. The author highlights the importance of understanding how technology can be integrated within early literacy provisions. It suggests that the use of computers can support writing skills, phonics practice, reading, and social engagement and collaboration. Furthermore, the article recognizes that this topic requires further investigation and research. The research conducted in this article is crucial to the understanding of the benefits of technology for students. As quoted, it is worth noting that the studies of children's interaction with digital texts in informal settings have highlighted the playfulness, agency, and creativity with which very young children may engage with digital texts. This implies that children can be more engaged in their learning with the use of technology. The research is focused on the students at the primary level and it concludes that using technology at young age can impact and enhance students' literacy skills. The second article that I found is Digital Writing and Diversity, the Effects of School Laptop Programs on Literacy Processes and Outcomes by Zhang, Warshur, and Farkas. This article is focused on a program that incorporates technology into the classrooms and schools. The article examines the study conducted in 2 school districts in the United States. The study looked at the impact of one-to-one laptop program implemented in the schools. The study focused on writing scores of the students at these districts. The study concluded that at-risk students gained the most from laptop use. Also, not both districts saw change in literacy levels with the integration of one-to-one laptop program. Various factors can contribute to this outcome. Students who may not have access to laptops at home may find using it at school to be very helpful. While on the other hand, students who have access to technology constantly may not see a change in the test scores as they use technology all the time. The implication of the study is relevant to my research because it provides an insight into how the use of laptops can aid student achievements in literacy studies. The article indicates various methods of conducting the study, looking at quantitative and qualitative data. In addition, it was interesting to note that some groups of students were able to benefit from technology while others did not. The third article that I found is Using Electronic Books in the Classroom to Enhance Emergent Literacy Skills in Young Children by Moody. This article focuses on the use of ebooks with emergent literacy learners. It presents a study in the effects of e-story books for children struggling to read. It suggests that the technology can aid student comprehension, phonics practice skills, and much more. Various other research are referenced in this article that suggest how reading text and listening to text can have a different impact on young children's literacy skills. This article is relevant to my action research question because it explores technology that is constantly used in almost all the classrooms today. Ebooks are easily accessible for students and educators to use when teaching literacy. My research action plan. For my action research, I will be looking at 3 different data sources. The first one is survey. Surveys are usually in the form of a series of brief and clearly worded questions. These questions are structured. The survey will focus on comparing the 2 tools of writing, looking at the handwriting and electronic writing. Questions will be focused on understanding how the students use the iPad, what electronic features enhance the writing, for example, spell checks, grammar autocorrect, the writing pad, and preference of writing tools, either being the paper and pencil or preference of using an iPad. I selected this source because I will be able to get an understanding of the students' input of how they use the technology. The next source I looked at is existing data. I looked at the collections of the students' writing scores from report cards in the OSRs. This will provide a good baseline for my study. I will be able to understand the level that each student is starting at. The report card scores will allow me to compare the students' writing scores from the beginning to the end of my study. This comparison will provide information about the impacts of using technology for writing. The scores and the teacher's comments will be analyzed. Next is the numeric rating scale assessments. So I will be looking at assessments of students' assessments of students' written work is completed several times in the study. Rating scale is a type of data source that can be quantifiable. This assessment tool will allow the teacher to indicate that the skills displayed by the student. Rating scales state the criteria and provide 3 or 4 rating points to describe the quality of the student's work. Adding a number to the rating points will allow the teacher to provide a numerical score to evaluate the change or difference in writing skills with and without an iPad. Assessment of handwritten work and electronic work will be completed. I will be looking at the validity and the reliability of my data sources. The questions of the survey will be very clear and precise and related to my research question. The questions in the survey will be the same for all students. The survey will be given to the students in a written form and students will be given the same amount of time to complete it. To ensure validity, the survey will be conducted at the end of the study. This will give students time to practice writing skills and use the iPad. This will also ensure that the data will provide reliable evidence to show the impact of technology. Existing data. For existing data, it will be in the form of report cards and report card scores from the student's OSR. The student's grade 3 writing scores will be collected. The student's report card score is a reliable source of data because in writing, students are being evaluated throughout the school for grammar, punctuation, vocabulary, writing forms, and much more. These expectations are also evaluated for grade 4 students. This source provides qualitative data to analyze. The numeric rating scale assessment. Students' written work is evaluated throughout the study using the same assessment tool. The assessment will be looking for the same expectations and success criteria in writing. For example, it will be looking at the grammar, punctuation, vocabulary, and spelling. The same assessment tool will be given to evaluate students' handwritten and electronic work. Assessment will be conducted several times during the study to evaluate and compare any changes in writing scores. Participants and the setting of the study that will be conducted. The participants are the students and the teacher. I'll be looking at the grade 4 students, ranging from 16 to 20 students per class, depending on the class size of the school. The teacher will be the grade 4 teachers. The setting will be in 2 grade 4 classrooms at an elementary public school in Peel. The library will also be a setting as students usually complete many of literacy tasks in the library. Ethical considerations. How I maintain confidentiality. How will I ensure confidentiality of my participants? It is important not to let the research distract from teaching the whole class curriculum. At the end of the day, this is what is important. Sending a note home to ask parents permission, introducing my project, how I think it will happen with their child's learning, and what I will be doing and what strategies I will be using. Any data that is to be shared beyond my own classroom will have names changed for confidentiality. Data collection process. For the data collection process and the timeline, I looked at the type of data, which is data collection process. The three types of data that I will be collecting is the student survey, the numeric rating scale assessment of students' work, and existing data. How often it will be collected and when. Student survey will be conducted once in May at the end of the study. The assessment tool will be collected throughout the study from October to May. The rating scale will be used to evaluate the summative tasks. Existing data will be collected once before the start of the study in October. I will have access to students' OSR and report cards at the end of the month of September. How I will analyze my data. So looking at the existing data, I will map the progression of students' writing skills using the iPad by initially gathering writing scores from the previous report cards. I will note down the writing scores and key points from the teacher's comments to get a better understanding of the students' writing levels. I will organize the data in a table. The data will be collected from 2 grade 4 classrooms. I will use the data to understand the students' level of writing before starting the study. After the completion of each summative task assigned in both classrooms, a numeric rating scale will be used to evaluate students' written work with and without the use of the iPad. An overall numeric score is given for each summative task. The scores are organized in a table to compare the progression of both classrooms. The classroom where the students are using the iPad and the classroom where the students are not using the iPad. At the end of the study, the scores from the assessment tools are compared to the initial grade levels students had prior to the study. The data will provide information on students' knowledge of punctuation, grammar, vocabulary, writing form, spelling, and proofreading. I will be looking for improvement in these areas of writing. I will be measuring and comparing the scores and improvement in language, convention, punctuation, grammar, spelling, and etc. and the form of style of writing. The assessment tool will indicate if students who use the iPad saw any improvement over time. The 2 grade 4 classrooms are then further compared to see if students' writing scores improved or changed with and without the iPad. Was there a great change in students' writing skills? For instance, did using the iPad help improve students' spelling when writing? I can look at the data collected from the assessment tool to see if there was any improvement in spelling. Furthermore, the survey is analyzed to understand the students' inputs for handwriting and electronic writing. The survey answers will be reviewed to see if students utilize the iPads effectively and hence the progression in writing scores over time. For instance, did the students use spell check on the iPad? If so, I can compare that to the assessment scores of their summative tasks. The 3 articles mentioned in the beginning of my presentation were the annotated bibliographies that I used to help me with my project. The first article about technology and early childhood education, the effects of school laptop programs and on literacy processes and outcomes, and looking at electronic books in the classroom to enhance emergent literacy skills. My research on this project will enable me to be a more thoughtful teacher in my progression to implement a more modern style of teaching in my classroom. Many research has indicated that we are continuing to move into a digital era. It is important as educators to work towards understanding the strengths and needs of the students. Technology is a crucial part of students' lives today. Therefore, integrating technology into the classroom can be beneficial for their learning. I believe that technology can provide students with a richer learning opportunity and also allow them to become more engaged in various activities, and lessons. This action research study will reinforce my perspective about technology in the classrooms. As a teacher, I plan to promote a learning environment where technology is encouraged and utilized in a safe and responsible manner for learning.